الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الذي معبود لا رب غيره ولا معبود سواه، وأشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم رسول الله. اللهم صل عليه وعلى آله ومن والاه. أما بعد، عباد الله اتقوا الله. يقول الله عز وجل: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Brothers and sisters, boys and girls, Alhamdulillah, we are enjoying the month of Ramadan. Such a great opportunity for all of us to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is actually the ultimate goal that we are all eager to achieve out of this beautiful month, the month of Ramadan. Brothers and sisters, you have heard a lot of speeches, I'm pretty sure, about the ibadah in Ramadan. That all what we need to do in Ramadan is ibadah. What is ibadah? Or translated as worship or act of obedience. It is technically identified as any kind of act, any kind of deed, anything that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whatever it is, you can name it. It is an act of ibadah. As long as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with it, then it is an act of worship. And there is a reward for this act of worship, definitely, for sure. We've heard a lot about the act of worship that we can do in the month of Ramadan. Reading Quran, praying Taraweeh, giving in a charity, maybe praying Taraweeh also. So many things we have heard about acts of obedience in the month of Ramadan. But I'm here today to let you know that there are some other acts of obedience, acts of ibadah, that look different from the default acts of worship that people are customized to do in the month of Ramadan. Or probably also, I would say, the month of Ramadan. These acts of worship may not require a lot of effort, may not require particular preparation like wudu or ghusl or having money or anything like that. These acts of worship have great reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I want you to give me your full attention, because you will definitely fit in some, if not all, of those acts of ibadah, worship. Again, I remind you, what is ibadah? Ibadah is an act of obedience that makes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy. Any act of obedience. And just to let you know, this is not an offensive word. You know, when we use the word abd or ibadah, slavery, it is not that way. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set an example in the Holy Quran about people who worship different masters or serve different masters, and people who serve only one single master. He said, ضرب الله مثلا عبدا رجلا فيه شركاء متشاكسون ورجلا سلما لرجل هل يستويان مثلا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala presented an example of a person, of a man who is owned by quarreling masters. They always disagree what this person has to do. And the example of a person who is only owned by one master, who is very consistent in whatever he wants from this servant or slave of his. We in our life, unfortunately, have so many masters. So we enslave ourselves to these masters unintentionally, unconsciously. Like people who are slaves to fashion, slaves to desires, slaves to cultural pressure, slaves to peer pressure, slaves to money, slaves to fame, slaves to family. So many things people enslave themselves to. But the Muslim, the real Muslim, is only slave of Allah, who put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the front line. And whatever is left over of his energy, whatever is left over from his time or from his money, can be given to anyone else. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the because he's a slave of Allah only. What are these acts of slavery, of obedience, that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they don't require a lot of them? We've got some of them. The first one, ibadat al-rida. It's an act of obedience. We call it contentment, satisfaction with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is an act of obedience or act of worship that you should have in your heart. You should express by your tongue. You should express or display using your own organs and lips and tongue to express your pleasure with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your satisfaction with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Man radiya falahu rida, wa man sakhifa falahu sakh. Whoever harbor in his heart pleasure and satisfaction with Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will meet him, will shower him with his pleasure. Subhanallah. And whoever is displeased with Allah, is not satisfied and content with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided for him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be displeased with him. Subhanallah. Rida. You know that if you just say something, express your gratitude and your thankful, your pleasure with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a very simple way, in a very simple like act of life. You get the pleasure of Allah, you earn the pleasure of Allah. Rasulullah said, Inna Allah la yarda an al-abd. Allah is pleased with the servant of his. إذا أكل الأكلة أو شرب الشربة أن يحمد الله عليه. Whenever he eats a morsel of food or drink a sip of water and says Alhamdulillah from his hand, Allah is pleased with this person. SubhanAllah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the very, very selected, chosen servant of his, he said, radiyallahu anhum wa radu anhum. Those are the people Allah pleased with them, and they are also pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibadat al-rida. The second one is Jabr al-Khawatir. It's an Arabic expression, but means to heal the broken heart. You definitely have somebody who have a broken heart. Person is frustrated or disheartened or disappointed because of something. One in your community, one in your contact, probably one inside your family. How to heal their broken heart, or to bring the smile back on their face. It might be we're just using a phrase, a good word, something, a smile. Subhanallah, saying a smile to somebody or saying few complimentary words to this person, encouraging him or her to move on, it is an act of ibadah. Subhanallah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, there is nothing at all can be compared with إدخال السرور على قلب المسلم, to bring happiness into the heart of a Muslim. Tell me of any act of worship when it is compared with something like that, it's worth nothing, or it worth different. It doesn't worth exactly the same. Can't be equal. Jabr al-Khawat. Subhanallah. How many times, brothers and sisters, we've seen members of our community who are named as Muslims and their parents beg them, you know that they are after a word, a phone call. We are very close to Mother Day, so they are very, subhanallah, they just wait for a word, the word salam, how are you? People who are maybe family members, they are very disappointed and disheartened because of our attitude or because of our distancing ourselves from them, or for some reason they just wait for a word, probably a word of compliment, a word of apology, something like that. Jabr al-Khawatir, this is an act of ibadah. Subhanallah. Another act of ibadah, which is Imhal wa sabr, to give people time. You may lend somebody something, and or somebody owes you something, and if you give him time, extra time to pay you back, that's an act of ibadah. Subhanallah. Do nothing. You just wait for your thing to come back and give a little bit of time. There was a man Rasulullah told about his story. He was actually a person with all sorts of sins. He's just like, he doesn't care at all about anything. But he was a businessman, and he used to tell his workers, okay, when they go and demand or ask for a payoff or a refund or payment of the goods that he paid, he sold to them. Some of them had hard time, some of like his customers, so they asked for extra time to pay off. He would say, okay, just let them, don't worry. And when this person passed away, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the angel, wipe off the sins of this person. He said, why? This person deserves the hellfire because look how much evil he has done. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said he used to give the people or forgive the people. And I am more deserving to forgive him than him forgiving the people. Brothers and sisters, could be another way of earning a reward in Ramadan. One other act is to help the people fulfill their needs. What is that? Is somebody in need for help? You just help him to do the things they want. Probably cross the street, get some grocery from the shop. An old elderly person next door to you need just milk and bread, and you can help him out. Helping the people is a very rewardable act of worship. It's even in some cases better than fasting, praying, and spending time in the masjid in Azkar and Quran recitation. And I recall, subhanallah, Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhu, one of the companions of Rasulullah, he was sitting in the Prophet's masjid one day, and somebody came to him, sat next to him, and he whispered something in his ear. And he was actually in the month of Ramadan. He was in in seclusion. Then he got up, took his shoes and started walking off. Somebody stopped him and said, "Did you forget that you are in i'tikaf? You can't go out." Then he smiled to this person and he said, "I hear Rasulullah sallallahu who is lying down in this grave saying that if you go out to fulfill one of your brother's needs, it is better than spending 1 month in ibadah in my mosque here." Subhanallah. The Prophet's mosque is a very special one, and if we offer one single prayer in the Prophet ﷺ's mosque, we get the reward multiplied by 1,000 times. But going out to spend or to help somebody sort out some of his needs or her needs is even better than spending 1 month in the masjid, subhanallah, of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That could be in your hands, subhanallah. The other thing, at-taghaful, and that's really very important, especially in the lockdown time. The lockdown time, we get a bit frustrated sometimes, and people have developed. Sorry, many people develop some psychological problem from family issues, probably domestic violence. Even some people develop cases of cancer because of being locked down for a long time and being sitting home for a long time. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that there is one act of ibadah you can do, especially when you are inside your home for a long time, and it's a very rewarding. Not only that, he said, "Khayrul mu'minin, khayrul mu'minin." The best one of the believers is what? Al-Fatan al-Mutaghafil. Subhanallah. He's a smart person, but he is mutaghafil. He overlooks the mistake. Let go. He doesn't act at home as an inspector, as a policeman, that he is watching closely and observing every single act of his partner or of his spouse or of his children. Pick on them. Whatever word comes out, oh yeah, make a big issue out of it. Anything that is not done according to his own wish, it is also not for him a big deal. He just let go. Subhanallah. This is at-taghaful. At-taghaful. Subhanallah. So you are aware of things happening at your home, okay? But it doesn't mean that you pick on everything and try to make a big deal out of that. Just let go. Overlook. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam at home was such a kind of person. His servant served him for 10 years, Anas ibn Malik. And he said, the servant said, I take an oath by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I haven't seen anyone like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He never asked me, why did you do that? Why you didn't do that? If I do something, he didn't ask me, why did you do it? If I don't do something, he wouldn't ask me why you didn't do it. Subhanallah. Brothers and sisters, please be very kind when you are home and try to, perform this ibadah of at-taghaful, and don't be at home as a policeman and judge and persecutor at the same time. You are just a loving person. One more ibadah, inshallah, and I think my time now to finish, or maybe I take one more. The other ibadah, it's the ibadah of preventing the rumors, the spread of rumors. Now we live in an age of social media. We receive, tons of information from here. Channels are open. People, share and don't care. Share and don't care. So if you are if you are the person who spread whatever comes to your attention, then you are actually spreading the rumor. By just touching a button and spreading the rumors and the false information, it's an act of obedience. On the other hand, if you stop this rumor, then you are actually doing an act of ibadah. Subhanallah. You are doing, it's a great, great act. Subhanallah. How many houses got destroyed and how many families broke up because of rumors, because of false information, because of assumption, and how many people in a community have been excluded and dismissed and looked down upon because of these rumors. When something comes to your attention, just discard it unless you verify and make sure it is correct and authentic. Even if you find it correct and authentic, it doesn't give you the right to share it and spread it around unless you find yourself, subhanallah, qualified for that, or there is need for that. Don't be a tool to destroy others people's life for fames because you just want to share and at the same time you don't care. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about the story of Aisha radiallahu anha and how she was falsely accused of doing an act of shamefulness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned the believers, those people who just spoke about it, just like took part in the conversation that just people are talking. I haven't done anything. I haven't accused her of anything. I just say, people say, I heard from people. Allah said to them, لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا وقالوا هذا إفك مبين. Just have good thinking about yourself and other people and say, that is just fake. I just discard it. That's wrong information. Throw it away. Brothers and sisters, please don't be part of this machine, of this machinery of spreading the false news that spread negativity and fear among the people. You better just keep quiet and keep silent. It is an act of evil to spread, to share every truth they will receive. Even if it's a truth, it is not good to share it with everyone because you don't know how people are going to receive this truth. I would like to finalize with one act of ibadah, which is also in the heart, which is named as husnul dhanni billah. To have good thinking of Allah. Think good about Him. Subhanallah. Think good about Him, which means that you are certain if you ask Allah forgiveness, He's gonna forgive you. If you ask Allah for help, He's gonna help you. If you make dua, Allah will listen to you. And if you are in a bad situation, Allah is the only one who can take you out of this bad situation or hard time. This is the meaning of good thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is an act of ibadah, subhanallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنِّ عَبْدِي بِي فَإِنْ ظَنَّ بِي خَيْرًا فَخَيْرٌ وَإِنْ ظَنَّ بِي شَرًّا فَشَرٌ. I will definitely be as my slave or my servant think of me. If he think of me good, I will be good to him. If he think of me bad, I will be bad to him. Subhanallah. Brothers and sisters, have good thinking of Allah. That's also an act of ibadah. You don't need to have a special preparation for it. But be realistic when you have that. As I said, you do your part and have a good thinking and good expectation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A young man was about to die, and in the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, and Umar radiallahu anhu paid him a visit, and he said, how do you feel now? How are you now? How is it going with you? He said, أخاف أخاف ذنوبي وأرجو الله سبحانه وتعالى المغفرة. I'm a bit scared from my wrongdoings, from my sins, but I have a big hope in Allah. I have good thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Umar ibn al-Khattab said to him, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying, if those two things happen to be in the heart of a person who is departing from this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save him from what he fears from and give him what he hoped for, which means that Allah will wipe out his sins and whatever wrongdoings or shortcomings he have, and he will give him the forgiveness that he was hoping for. Brothers and sisters, these are some acts of worship, and I've got so many of other acts of worship that we can do in the month of Ramadan that are very, very special and very rarely spoken about them, especially in the month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the truth. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين وأشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم رحمة الله تعالى للعالمين. Brothers and sisters, I encourage me and myself and all of you, all the listeners, to excessively make a lot of dua. We are really in a very bad need. Keep knocking at the doors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will be definitely open. They will be definitely open. But keep knocking, keep asking Allah. I will tell you what, all acts of worship that we have mentioned in the khutbah today, so many other acts of ibadah or obedience that can be mentioned in any book, they have one principal act of worship that named by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the brain, the head of all acts of ibadah. What is it? Dua. To ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala day and night. Don't stop. Use your own language. Use your own style. Don't be fussy about choosing the words. Just talk to Allah. And it's the time for us to make dua. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا وفي الآخرة ربنا تقبل منا يا رب العالمين يا رحيم اللهم تقبل منا صيامنا وتقبل منا صلاتنا وتقبل منا صالح أعمالنا واغفر لنا وللمسلمين أجمعين يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا. اللهم ارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا. اللهم باعد بيننا وبين خطايانا كما باعدت بين المشرق والمغرب. اللهم اغفر لنا ولجميع أهلنا وأحبابنا يا رب العالمين، واختم لنا رمضان بالعتق من النيران يا رحيم يا رحمن. عباد الله رحمكم الله، غفر الله لنا ولكم.